Some of the most graphic things I've seen in my career, someone split in two at the waist, another person completely decapitated with the skin intact, but the head was completely unstable and the bones that stabilized the neck were completely disrupted.
Any type of activity that takes your eyes and your attention off the road is distracted driving, and the teenagers and the drivers, young drivers, need to be aware that it just takes a quick second for something to happen devastating that can affect not only their life, but the life of the person that they potentially might collide into.
Investigating fatality crashes is always difficult, even more so when they involve teenage drivers. One of the worst fatality crashes I investigated involved a 19-year-old who lost his life while texting and driving.
Angie was my firstborn.
My first baby. He was so handsome. We were so excited when he was born.
He was the epitome of what we wanted.
Everywhere he went, he just lit up the room.
Great kid, smart kid, confident, loved by everyone. As a kid, he, did your basic things, and I loved it. The hunting, the fishing, the golf, which he ended up beating me in several times.
We were very close. He was the love of my life. We would text every day, talk every day.
He just enjoyed life and his friends and family. He knew he had friends and family everywhere he went.
It was very fun to play with.
He was a very happy person, fun, athletic.
I remember one time when AJ was trying to help me cook something and he kind of burnt it in the microwave. It was funny.
He had the most beautiful smile, the most beautiful attitude, the most beautiful personality.
Spontaneous, so much fun. Our memories I'll cherish forever. We had so much fun together.
He made everybody laugh. His laugh was so funny.
Really funny, whether it was intentional or not. He was just always joking around.
He was a handful for teachers, but it provided a lot of meaningful stories and good laughs.
His hugs, his smile, his charm was just, no matter how much of a Debbie Downer you may be, he just picked you right up.
AJ's number was number 27 and my number's number 27.
He was known for the number 27. That was his football number.
And he tried out for quarterback, and I wanted to be a quarterback as well, except he was much bigger than I was. He was actually considered, and I was just dismissed.
There was actually a time where we were in 8th grade. He was actually my quarterback, and he threw me passes. I caught a few touchdowns from him.
AJ Benavides will take it long, deep, and there. Touchdown.
It was fun knowing that we were related and stuff like that, so it made that bond a lot stronger for us.
He was the definition of a teenager. He was just so fun and just ready to live.
We're the best of friends. We were always going out together, random trips, San Antonio, Austin.
He was always looking for the next adventure, next concert.
He loved going to shows. He loved listening to EDM.
He loved it. He had a passion for it.
We were at Isla del Sol in the Valley.
It was a festival that we anticipated for a while. It was me and AJ and probably about 20, 25 of our Alice friends getting together, enjoying the weekend.
There's this one song that the DJ dropped, and it says, when I look up in the sky, I know that I'm not afraid to die. And me and AJ were standing next to each other, and we were just screaming that song, shouting and jumping up and down to it.
We saw a shooting star that night, and that's something I'll never forget. That was the last time I saw AJ.
I was coming down 43. I saw an 18-wheeler parked to turn. And I told my kids, I looked at my son, and I said, son, that truck coming behind him is coming full speed. Doesn't look like it's gonna stop.
Oh, the call came in. Forgot exactly what time it was, but I remember getting to the scene, and it was a little eerie.
I pulled over. I told my kids to stay in the car. Got off, and I went up to the truck, tried to help him open the door, and the doors were jammed, and his body was leaned over to the passenger side. And I kept telling him, yelling there, hang in there, just stay strong, help is on the way, just keep going.
We get there and we look into the vehicle and we see that AJ's there.
Around 1 p.m. Tuesday afternoon, he rear-ended an 18-wheeler stopped on the road on Weber near Yorktown.
We immediately find out that he's pulseless, apneic, which means we got to start doing CPR on him.
Got him out and just put him on a stretcher, and a paramedic was on top of him doing CPR and said, no pulse. They were yelling, gone.
Got him into the back of the ambulance as quickly as we could, and we took off right away.
AJ Benavidez was brought here, aggressive resuscitative efforts, unfortunately were unsuccessful in preventing his demise, and he was pronounced dead at 2:33 p.m.
While investigating the scene of the crash, besides AJ's wallet and ID, we also found a phone number.
A trooper, Bradley, called, and he didn't know who I was. He had just found the number.
Well, giving a death notification over the phone is not preferred. You want to make contact and be in person. After attempting to locate AJ's family, we were unsuccessful, so I had the phone number and I went ahead and made the call.
He said, and I remember that, he said, like I said, ma'am, this is Trooper Bradley, and AJ was in an accident today and he died.
We were heading back from our trip in Missouri, and my mom got a phone call, and she just started crying at me, and Adisa didn't know what to do.
She told me to call my dad and tell him that AJ was in an accident.
And all I hear was screaming and yelling from his mom, and just like stuff I couldn't believe. It didn't even register.
That's when it hit me, and I just lost it.
I just rolled out of the truck onto my knees. I yelled. They told us, you're not gonna want to see this. That's my son.
When I got to see him, that I don't really think about it.
As soon as they opened the door, I thought I was broken once to begin with. When I heard the news, I grabbed him, but he was cold.
I remember just walking in and laying on his chest.
I could feel his broken ribs. His left leg was broken, and I moved the blanket off his foot to hold up to. There was a toe tag.
When I laid on his chest and there was no heartbeat, that was the hardest thing.
And it's etched.
His tweet that he was back in town and back to work, honestly, if he hadn't done that, he would still be here.
When I arrived at the scene of the crash, the first thing I noticed, there was no skid marks. pickup truck had struck the rear end of a fuel tanker. We were relieved there hadn't been a major explosion causing multiple injuries and fatalities.
AJ was texting and driving, and he looked down for, I guess, that split second, and that's all it took. And he ended up hitting the back of that big truck.
I got to the truck, I picked up the steering wheel, looked at it, all the dry blood. There's dry blood everywhere.
I would talk to him about drinking and driving and not getting in the car with someone, wearing your seatbelt, but not about texting.
And I was looking for that phone, I know he has it in here.
AJ assured his mom that he could safely text and drive by putting the cell phone at the top of the steering wheel. That way he could look out to the left or to the right or above it, text and drive at the same time and be safe. He actually told his mom, "Mom, don't worry, I got this."
I was driving in one time and he was telling me, you know, because I swerved or something, and he said, "No, Mom, you have to put your phone on top of the steering wheel."
I got one of the formats and I put her on my arm and I shoved the windshield up the dashboard, because like I said, the steering wheel is gone and there's blood all over everything. I shoved up the windshield and reached behind the display. I got it.
Even like that, he didn't see the 18-wheeler in front of him that was stopped. You know, he took his eyes off the road just that little bit of time.
Just one tweet that AJ made ended his life. It's not worth it. That tweet can wait, that Snapchat can wait, that text can wait.
It's harder to know that this didn't have to happen. It didn't have to be this way. All because tweeting was important at the time, and it's not. It's definitely not.
Focus on what you're doing, focus on driving, and don't let anything distract you. Anything could happen. You don't think it'll happen to you.
You may think, oh, I have control. I can text and look up. I know my surroundings. I can look left. I can look right. But you know what? That's what AJ thought.
You're putting other people on the road in danger. You're putting yourself in danger.
Some teens still think it's okay to text. I mean, if it's a habit, you need to break it because your life really is important to you. And once you're gone, I mean, you're gone.
We're older and stuff. We didn't have cell phones back then. We didn't have all that stuff. We're still here. We did fine.
AJ would always tell me that I worry too much. I got this, Mom.
I don't know what the trick is, because since AJ passed, it's still happening.
And I still can't believe it, that it happened. It can happen to anyone.
Throw that phone in the back seat and turn it off.
If you just get rid of it, turn it off, you never hear the notification that it's come in, and it's out of sight and out of mind.
Had he waited, he'd still be alive.
AJ lost his life over something so simple as a text or a tweet. When I work these distracted driving crashes, I think to myself, when's it gonna stop? You know, what's it gonna take? Being maimed, disfigured, death? Every time you get behind the wheel, you're driving a 2,000-pound missile. 1 second of distraction can end it all. We know when it stopped for AJ.
Texas DPS is definitely fulfilling one of the pillars of trauma education and the trauma mission nationally, and that is to tackle the root cause so that we prevent unnecessary tragedies.
The reactions that we get from family members after breaking the news that their loved one has expired is, can't even put it into words.
Driving is very dynamic. Situations change very quickly, and you need to be focused on the road.
It just takes that one little second, and that's a lifetime.
Even if you do survive, you may end up with long years of disability just for something that took you a blink of an eye.
I would tell parents, before your child starts driving, no texting, no driving.
It just scares me to death to see people out there driving like that, because not only are they endangering themselves, but they're endangering everybody around them.
Kids, they need to know that no status update, nothing like that is worth losing your life.
It affects not only your family, your friends, your community, your school.
They need to be aware when they're driving how just looking away for a few seconds can change somebody's life.
Please don't text.